Hello, welcome. My name's Patrick, and today I am going to talk about. I'm going to try to do this quickly, alright? I pre-shuffled the cards on a tarot from today, which is September 17th, I believe, to the end of the year for Donald Trump and his administration, alright? So it's both for him and the administration. We'll just take the cards as they come. They're all right here. I'm using the Egyptian deck, and I've been this way all my life with my desk. I try to keep it organized, and it overruns me, and I don't think I have any more to... Anyway, let's go do this. Let's just do it. I have some thoughts going through my head, that's why I'm a little hesitant. Let me just say a little prayer. And let me finish off with another one in my head. Thank you. The first card, I'm going to do the Celtic, and let's go. Now, I asked the Divine to pick a card for me, alright? Instead of usually I can pick it for Donald Trump, probably as a King of Wands, maybe, perhaps the King of Cups. As you know from my dowsing, I haven't dowsed him in a while, but his energy, he moved up from a very low in the 90s, and then now he made a big shift, a quantum leap to about a 5. And that's very unusual for a politician. So he's earnestly doing his job. That's the way I see it. That's the way I measure it. And it's unfortunate. I think 90% of people doing readings are like really hostile to him. And it affects their readings. It really does. Their sight gets really low. I'm not going into it. There's some very extremely high individuals doing readings right now on YouTube. So give it a look-see. Let's go. We'll go through this pretty quick. The Magician. Do you see that? The Magician. Maybe I could do it this way. I'm doing 2 cameras today. There you go. The Magician. I think this refers to the fact he's taking charge in a different way. He's going to manifest what he needs to get done to have a successful presidency. All right? And, okay, this is September 7th. Last week, he cut a deal with the Democrats. And that's showing he's giving up on the Republicans to a point. But before this, he's really the victim of both parties in the Senate and Congress. Neither was cooperating. I mean, he had nowhere to go. So by bolting from the Republicans and going to the Democrats and just cutting any deal, that's the Magician. That's just making something happen for the sake of making it happen. And sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you just get you need a stick of dynamite. And he is a mission. So he's taking charge, and he's using all his power. He's calling on the Divine as well. This is a very good card. It's a magical card. All right? Let's keep going. Okay. So this crosses him for a disc. So to me, it is a money card, but it's about power. Money is a tool of power. And this is about, in this particular one, it's a pharaoh type looking at the grain bins all filled up, you know. And basically in the other tarot decks, it shows someone's holding it, you know, trying to keep possession of it, you know. And I think he's trying to keep what he has without losing any more. He has lost a lot. And on the personal side, his business is losing in it because the Democrats and their supporters, which are all the media and stuff, they're attacking his hotels and his golf courses, and he's losing a lot of money. And look what they did Ivanka. They just stopped showing her stuff. They're making a big mistake because Ivanka is going to be the next president. I'm the only one saying it. Don't worry about it. All right, don't take it. Don't get all weird about it. So that crosses him. So he's trying to keep what he has. Excuse me. That's not cross. That covers him. Excuse me. So I'm covering him with that. All right, and then I'm going to cross. To me, the first three cards is like a mini reading. So what we got here? Okay, 9 of Cups. So he's happy about the outcome. What's happening? All right. Probably he's happy about there's joy in the family. I think there's a change in the White House emotionally. You know, from getting beat up by everyone, now he's actually working people. The government is sort of like he's dealing now. He's starting to deal, and he had to cross the aisle to do that. You know, is the dreamer card he played too much to give up? That's the way to look at it. He gave that card up. I don't know what he gave up to get this deal. All right? I don't know. So that crosses it. So emotionally in the White House is probably pretty good, and he's trying to hold on to what he has. And let's go. My next card. In the near future, the Hierophant. Now that makes sense. The Hierophant makes sense. And that's because he's turned to Congress. This is an old way of governing. You know, you just cut a deal with anybody you can. He's cutting deals with the military, the legal branch, the Congress on both sides of the aisle. He's using the structure of government. Instead of being the outsider, he's crashing around like a bull in a china shop. He's cutting deals. And that's what this card is about. He's going to continue to do this. He's going to cut deals as much as he can. All right? This is the Foundation, the Queen of Cups. Interesting. There's the Queen of Cups. That's interesting. I don't know. You know, part of this is there's a huge water splashing emotions behind him. That's the Foundation. He used a lot of emotions to get elected. He promised a lot. He was showing. This could also be Ivanka, but he's also a government that works with the people. And a lot of emotions. I think he ran on a lot of emotions. And I think that's what that's kind of signifying. Another, there is a beautiful card. Big, bright, the sun. That's in the recent past. I think that's what he did last week, cutting a deal with the Democrats. I think this is dominating. That decision is really a big one. All right? More so than any foreign policy, anything like that. It's the first time you had the opposition in the White House talking. So I think you're going to have to look at this a little bit from how important is the Dreamers. Now I did douse the Dreamers, and what everybody understands is like 850,000 individuals. I think about 70% of that, what I douse, will actually get papers to stay in the country at the end of the day, down the road, whenever they make that decision. Nothing has been made. No decision. Okay. That's very interesting. So that was really good for him. And that's in the recent past. Using the government is coming up more and more. He's going to use traditional power levers. He has a lot of power. Twitter is not power. It aids him, but it's not power. You know, withholding money, withholding contracts from subcontractors, that's power. That's the government. He has huge power, and he needs to start using it more and more. And that's this one. All right? This is kind of come. He had that realization. That's the first thing. He probably gave somebody some money somewhere, you know? Maybe he gave someone a job in the hotel at Trump Tower. Who knows? Maybe he gave a defense contract to someone in California, you know? That's believable. Those cut deals, that moves government. That moves government. Look at this. This is in the future again. This is the Six of Wands. Beautiful card. Very positive card. There's just one word for this. Victory. There are other words, but that's the one that stands out in mine. On the Aleister Crowley deck, you know, at the bottom they go victory. And we could talk about, you know, I could talk about that guy I just mentioned. But I don't want to. I don't want to bring his energies in. I don't want anything to do with him. But he has a very interesting tarot deck. And he influenced the design, but a woman was the graphic artist on that deck. It's a very unusual one. I don't know if I recommend it for people or not. It brings different energies to the... And I don't have a positive thing on it, that man, anyway, all right? But he is who he is, and, you know, you should take a look at him, but don't read his material. It's up to you. Okay. The Hermit. He is kind of cut off by himself, isn't he? He's probably by himself in the Oval Office, most powerful guy, and he's cut off. And probably, in a way, maybe he put Kelly there to put up a wall to the outside world, to control the information, even with his own family, kind of slowed things down. He used to govern his business by an open door, and, you know, he's solving problems constantly that come through, which, you know, building a skyscraper is solving problems. It's a constant, and it's usually with the city government you got to solve problems. Anyway, here he is, his environment. That's a Five of Discs. Interesting. Hey, look at all the coyotes. Looks like coyotes. The Five of Discs. You're sad over your money. I think I'm not sure for him. He could have money issues going on with the business. You know, no one's looking at that. But we did say before, the extreme left are actually waging war through the banks at him, through the media, you know, and this is starting to play on his business. People don't want to stay at his hotel. There is some uptick, but I think the hotel industry in a way is going to start seeing some downward movement. It's very expensive to travel now. Hotels are getting more and more expensive. So he might be feeling a little bit squeezed in the home front. And I also, not cutting deals in government. You know, the money's not getting spread around. Also, there is a shortage of money. You know, Congress is really slow about cutting checks for the hurricane. You know, to get those interstates open, to get the cities like Houston and Naples running quickly, you know, get them back. What else we got? And then the Queen of Discs. I kind of think it refers to the country a little bit. And can he get the country up and moving quickly? A lot of time has been lost. He's been in power since, you know, January, and nothing has gotten done. Only what he can do through executive order, and he's done a lot there, but we're at a point where, can you reform the country where we're at? Or do you need a revolution? That's where you're at. Can you reform this system? Personally, I don't think you can. I don't, you know, that's just me. I'm leaving that up to you to interpret it. Can we reform this country? Or do we need a serious revolution? Trump is here not as a revolutionary, but as a reformer, all right? And that's why he's willing to cut deals with the Democrats, and they him. You know, but you know, it's just going to be an incremental progress of nothing really seriously changing the structure. And the guys that have been stealing the money, they're still stealing the money. And I don't think reform's going to stop that. What an outcome. awful card. But I'm going to make it positive. This is the tower, and it's being struck. I think, and it has a pyramid there. You have the obelisk. You have the cobra. People running in fear of the obelisk. There's an eye of Horus on the top of the obelisk. There's a lightning. See, it's divine intervention. And that's what the country needs, divine intervention. And it's going to cause, you know, the I Ching has this as well, thunder. You know, the thunder. Again, it brings you in awe. The people are in awe. This is something serious. This is good and bad depending on how you want to look at it. It seems to be, and it's next to the Queen. And then I use this one, a connection, a relationship there. There's victories. So, but I think this could be the financial situation. Possibly, I said the eclipse was going to be a financial thing with the country, and it was going to take a while for us to step back and look and see it. And I don't know what we see right now. I don't even know what the stock market is doing. This is telling me the hurricanes are a big financial setback, believe it or not. The Irma and Harvey. And if we get another one and other things that happen, you know, these are big financial issues. Maybe the country can't handle it. You know, we can handle one, possibly two hurricanes, but I don't think we can handle three, and then an earthquake maybe, or anything. Also, it could be a signal here of a relationship with the stock market and the bond market. The Queen of Disc is next to that. All right? I think it also is showing light on the end of the year. The end of the year, where I said things are coming around to Trump, something big is going to happen. It could be a series of events here. It could be a series of events in a dark way. So Trump crossed the aisle, shaking hands, trying to cut deals there. It could bring party discipline to the Republicans. That empowers him. All these storms probably can empower him. He's getting credit for the $14 billion, not the Senate. You know what I mean? And he's going to do it for something for Naples and, you know, the Keys. And this is significant to me. Something big at the end of the year that hasn't happened yet. All right, something, and it could be the bond market, could be the stock market, something of that nature. That has, it could be a dive in the real estate values. You know, a correction. All those things could be wow. And I don't think it's going to be good because the tower in general is a negative card unless, you know, it's next. It is next to a victory. See, it's sort of like good for Trump, but not for the country initially. But this, it could empower him. So you have a double-edged sword. I don't like leaving it on that. So we're going to draw 3 cards. And then we're going to draw the 4th. These are my mini readings after the fact. I like to kind of, well, this is just wow, wow, wow. The Chariot, Death, and the Lovers. I end with a major arcana. I got what here? 3 more. What did I got here? I started off with a major arcana. I have 2. This is almost, what it's saying, it's beyond the realm. This is beyond my comprehension, all right? If you usually get, there's a lot of different ways they handle all these major arcana. I'm just saying this is significant, what's going to happen. By the end of the year, when we're standing here on December 15th, you're going to look back and say, oh, I see what the tower is. It's going to be significant. This is really boom. I mean boom. It's going to be boom on our personal lives too. It's going to affect every American. This is boom. This is huge change. But just looking at this, it's going to be a huge transformation. The death card is in the middle. He's moving forward with the power of his personality. Boom. And there's a partnership. I would almost say a new partnership. Here's the Lovers as an outcome here of these three cards. He's gonna form, it could be forming a new partnership with the country. Because maybe we're gonna have to do something different. And maybe his solutions weren't there. And of course, the Three of Wands. Looking at what we have done. I think this is really big, all right, for the country. And it's going to affect everybody. And it's almost like divine intervention. And it's almost pointing to the eclipse. The eclipse seems to have triggered a lot of things here. And I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The dacha, the illegal kids. How about the illegals with with American accents? You know, everybody feels for them. I run into them. They're great. They're great people. They'd be a good addition. I don't know if we have the resources in this country to take care of 300 people. You know, those are the questions you got to ask. How many more do you want? You want 350? Personally, what I'm seeing happening, the population of the country is below 300. I think they're saying 320. They're lying. They're actually saying, you know, it's going to be 325. You are insignificant. We're going to dilute your vote. We're going to dilute your power. We're going to dilute your money. But it's actually going the other way. And it's actually going, we're in the 290s right now, the population, and it's going to continue to fall. Now, yesterday I did a dowsing basically about the illegal immigration and immigration. And I get both. Two things are going to happen. It's still coming. A huge chunk are going to go home. A huge chunk. And one is through policy by the government. And we said that before. It would be policy. But now I'm picking up the economy. The economy. And here's our queen with the tower. If the economy gets bad, or let's say we have a correction, would be a better word, the people without jobs, especially young Americans that were born here of American parents, they're going to start demanding jobs. You know, that's the only solution to get the kids off the video games and get them to stop watching cable TV, you know, with all that pornography. You know, it's not productive. It pulls you away from your spiritual high, your spiritual self. And anyways, I find this is pointing into that direction that if we have a hiccup, well, if you have policy and the economy working together, that's the only way you're going to get 75 to 80% of the illegal immigrants to leave. And then 70% of the DACA, or the Dreamers, 75% will get, you know, a lot of them can't go back to Guatemala or Mexico. I mean, they're based, especially if you come like before you're at 8, you know, something like that, you're going to be pretty Americanized by the time you're 18 and 20. But if you came when you're 14 or 15, no, you're gonna still be Mexican. So it's an artificial, where do you cut the baby, and that sort of thing. Okay, I think this is really a significant and powerful spread for the country, and we'll come and visit this in December 15th. Okay, thank you. Have a good day, and you know, take care of your own household. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself first, then your own household. You know, don't try to save the world. Don't worry about Trump. He has, you know, you can say prayers for him and protection for him, but you don't worry about him. You know, don't get sucked into bottomless pit arguments with people in coffee shops. It's just a waste of time. You know, save that energy for your family and keep focused on your future, your goals, and you'll be fine. Thank you. Bye-bye.